Hey everybody, welcome to Breakfast All Day. Christy and Alonso just talked about Passing, which is on Netflix right now. But don't think that Netflix only has good movies. They've also got Red Notice.
There's just so much content. So if you need something mindless to have on the TV while you're folding laundry, might I recommend Red Notice?
It's a Hallmark Christmas movies for dudes who want sweat and bullets instead. And
so you have three of the most charismatic, bankable stars on the planet, all in one movie, in Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds. And each of them is doing his or her own shtick. It's almost like they don't interact at all in this movie, but they all share the screen at times. Dwayne Johnson is an FBI profiler who is after Ryan Reynolds, who is this high-class art thief. But they're both also after Gal Gadot's character, who goes by the shadowy name of the Bishop. The MacGuffin, or there are three of them actually, are these highly ornate antique eggs that were supposedly gifts for Cleopatra. And Ryan Reynolds wants to reunite all three of them, and that takes them all over the planet, like London and Bali, and where else did they go?
Russia, Spain, Venezuela, I think, or Argentina.
Argentina. There's like a jail in Spain, in Russia that they end up in.
And anyway, a bullfight, like the whole thing.
So this is a movie where Dwayne Johnson's doing his thing, where he's like muscular and gruff and the straight man, and Ryan Reynolds is doing his thing, where he's glib and passe and deadpan with his zingers and making pop culture references. And Gal Gadot's doing her thing that she does outside of the Wonder Woman movies. This is the same kind of character that she keeps getting, where she's just like glamorous and elusive and has to be sexy but deadly. No. And each of them is sort of like functioning in his or her own little silo, and they're all in the same movie. This is like a $200 million Netflix movie.
Wow.
And it's just glossy and soulless, and it's like a computer programmed it. It's like banter, chase, totally banter, chase, banter, explosion, pop culture reference, product placement. Did you notice when Ryan Reynolds' character goes home to his mid-century modern lair on an island in Bali, he stand-up paddleboards up to it, and what's waiting for him on the counter but a bottle of the gin company that he owns?
Oh, I didn't notice
right?
that.
So there's a case. The place is empty, right? There's a bottle and a glass waiting for him on the kitchen counter. And you watch him. There's a close-up of him pouring gin into the glass. You don't see the label yet, but later on, there's a shot from like behind, from inside the kitchen, and you see the kitchen counter, and there it is. I'm not going to say the name of it, Ryan Reynolds. I'm not giving you free advertising for your gin.
It's even more like a Hallmark Christmas movie than I thought then.
It is. It's just cynical and soulless. I will say there's like maybe a couple of lines that made me laugh. There's a whole bit that they do during the bullfight that I thought was funny.
The thing about this movie is like it started out as like a parody of the kind of movie it is, and I'm not against that. Like I actually like Hudson Hawk. I actually like the first Casino Royale. Like I like a bloated, like all-star globe-trotting adventure that understands that it is utter nonsense and is just going along for the ride. That said, this movie gets so far up its own ass and is so pleased with itself for doing nothing. It gets kind of depressing. And it's like, yes, we've seen Ryan Reynolds phone this kind of thing in before. The main thing this movie has going for it is that it's better than either of the Hitman's Bodyguard movies.
Is it though?
Yes, I'm going to say yes, because there's
it's less on par.
There's less shouting in this one, so I'll give them that. But yeah, this is a movie that it just kind of like runs out of steam. And what's really depressing is that Rawson Marshall Thurber.
Yep.
That's a lot of name. Did 2 movies with Dwayne Johnson that I quite like, even though they are also big popcorn nonsense. I liked Skyscraper and I liked Central Intelligence.
We had so much fun at Skyscraper.
Yes.
It's dumb. The thing with the crane where he's like running on the crane and he leaps.
The thing and yes, I
was
had
fun.
A ball at that movie.
Me too.
Totally stupid, but it's really well done and it knows what it is. And this movie could have been that. This movie could have been like, look, we're in tuxedos, we're in a Russian gulag, we're breaking into this safe, we're in a runaway mine train. Like, you know, they could, but they somehow just can't be bothered to revel in the silliness of it, and so it's just everybody feels like they're getting a paycheck.
It's just the same movie over and over again.
Yeah,
like, no matter what happens, like there's no tension, they just do the same shtick over and over again.
Exactly. There's no momentum. You don't really buy into any of the stakes, which even in a movie this dumb, you have to at least sort of fake some. So yeah, I was into it, and then I was just like, oh, we're not going anywhere, are we? So I'm not a big fan of Dodgeball, but
yes,
but
he did Dodgeball and We're the Millers.
Ew.
Which is not good. Yeah. So he's kind of all over the place.
Mixed
but yes,
bag.
I agree that Skyscraper was fun and knowingly fun. And this, I don't know. I guess it's trying to be knowingly fun because it's very self-aware.
Very self-aware.
As far as its tropes and its twists, and it's constantly calling attention to the fact that everybody involved knows that it's a movie, but that alone is not fun. Yeah. There's a cynicism to that grows really wearisome pretty quickly here.
Yeah, it's one thing to be like, yeah, see, we know what we're doing and we're doing it, and another thing to be like, we don't care what we're doing and we don't care if you know that we don't care, you know. It's a missed opportunity because I think these 4 people should have crafted something a lot more fun. I'll tell you, and one thing that I mentioned this when we talked about Harder They Fall. There's a big fight scene between the 3 of them, particularly between Dwayne Johnson and Gal Gadot, which should have been electrifying. Like, he's a former pro wrestler. She was, you know, like in the Israeli military. Like, they are capable of doing things with their bodies and of doing screen combat in a way that is exciting and energetic. We've seen them do fun fights in other movies. And this is one of those things where, like, we didn't have any time to rehearse, so we're just going to edit. And it has no energy at all.
She's Wonder Woman.
Yes,
come on.
Wonder Woman versus The Rock. Why? How do I have to spell this out for you? Movie that this should be more exciting. But you're right. I think if you are, like I said, it's a Hallmark Christmas movie. If you're doing 2 other things and it's on, it will be like this kind of fun thing you'll look up occasionally, and there will be a wisecrack, or they'll be leaping over a chasm, or something will blow up, or a helicopter, something, you know. But you don't want to actually pay attention to it.
Right. So I'm saying 2.5.
Wow. I said 5.5 because there was a moment where this was working for me before it just wasn't. But yeah, overall, it's pretty disappointing.
Our numbers of 4. Red Notice is out there if you need something to help you fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. So are you doing your taxes? You know, pop it on.